Alright, if you've gotten to this screen, you've already overcome the hardest part about Final Fantasy XI, which is installing it on modern PCs. If you're having a hard time, try turning on Direct Play. It's under the Legacy options. Underneath your like Windows programs, turn on and off features. So when you make a character, race used to matter a lot more to your stats. You can actually see the stat difference over on the left-hand side there. If you're a true min-maxer, you might want to still try and go for this, but it's not nearly as important as it used to be. So you should just pick whichever character look appeals to you. When it comes to what job you should pick, you can kind of go with your gut on this. It used to be a lot more important what your starting job was because you needed to consider leveling up your sub job and all of that. Gaining levels is a lot easier now and goes a lot faster, so you can kind of just experiment with whatever you want. The only thing it really changes is your starting year. So just pick whatever feels good. City is another one of those things that used to matter a lot more. Now you can, again, kind of go with whichever vibe you like the best. The only thing it really changes now is if you match your race to the city that you start in, you can start with an extra ring, a piece of ring equipment, but it's not gonna make or break you. So you should really just go with the lore that you want. Sandoria kind of has like an old, like ye old medieval vibe. Bastok is a lot more of it's a mining town, feels a little bit bustling, and then Windurst is a very foresty, magic-based place, so just kind of like whatever appeals to you. All right, so once you're in, the first two things you're gonna want to do are open your menu, go to equipment, and make sure that you equip the starting gear that they give you. Just so that you have your weapons ready to go for when you go fight, and so you have a little bit of an edge. Then you're going to want to go over to the second menu and click on quests and go down to Records of Eminence. Records of Eminence is how you're really going to get a lot of XP and gear and other things that are going to help you grow really fast. So go down to Objective List, Tutorial, Basics, and click First Step Forward. So speak to one of the following Records of Eminence guides in Southern Sandoria, Bastok Markets, or Windurst Woods, or Western Adeline. So I am in Windurst, so I'm going to go to J10 in Windurst Woods. I'm gonna set the objective, make sure it's on, and then you're good to go. Your map is gonna be pretty important in Final Fantasy XI. We don't have a mini-map, so make sure to check it whenever you're a little bit lost. So I'm currently in Windurst Waters. You can see up here, and I'm right here. So I want to head down to Windurst Woods. And to get there, I'm going to have to go through Windurst Walls. So 1 second. All right, so to know where you are in Final Fantasy XI, you're going to want to check your map. So you can see the numbers along the left side, and the letters, oops, up at the top, will show you which quadrant you're in. So I'm currently in quadrant G9. It also says it in the upper left-hand corner up here. And it'll also say it down here next to your in-game clock and compass, which quadrant you're currently in. So if I'm currently looking for J10, so I'm gonna want to go south and east. All right, so I want to be at J10 in Windurst Woods and talk to Felm, who is right here. So I found her, so talking to her should complete my Records of Eminence quest. And when you talk to this person, they're going to introduce you to a bunch of mechanics such as sparks, which you can trade for equipment and other things that you're going to need. All right, so after getting through the cutscene, your objective list under Records of Eminence is going to be a whole lot bigger. So there's still the basics: heal without using magic, undertake different training regimes, vanquish one enemy, and you can see that all of these give you a little bit of experience points. This is going to be a really good way for you to level up really fast. You can talk to different synthesis guild masters, which will also give you XP. Basically, there's a ton of different ways on this list to get a lot of XP really fast, which will help you level. The ones that we're gonna wanna do first, just because they are the fastest way to get going in a nice, easy way, are we definitely wanna call forth an alter ego. That's the trust system. So it's how you're gonna summon NPCs and how you're gonna basically build a party while essentially still being a solo player. So we're gonna take that. We're gonna vanquish one enemy, because that's pretty easy. Defeat one monster outside of a city. Make sure to equip the proper weapons, armor, have some food, and have Signet cast by. Oh, I'll show you guys Signet. So Signet can be cast on you by any one of these gate guards. You should look for the ones that have the letters at the end of their name. They're usually the one who can actually cast the spell on you. So just ask them to cast Signet. It's the first option when you talk to them. And they'll cast Signet on you. It'll appear as a little crystal-like icon up in the top or left corner. It helps you, it gives you a little bit of bonus XP, and it makes enemies drop crystals, which you can use in synthesis or to sell for more gil. All right, so we actually can't start the alter ego quest until level 5. So what we're gonna wanna do is make sure that we are getting as much XP as we can, as fast as we can. So go into your objective list and just kind of browse around. Actually, let me show you first in the map. You can see that I'm at the exit of Windhurst Woods, heading to East Saruta Baruta. So what we're gonna wanna do is go in the objective list. I already have, so I'll take heal without using magic, because that'll happen pretty fast. That's the heal command. You type /heal, or sometimes you might hit the little star button on your numpad. That'll make you heal. I can't actually, I'm not hurt, so I can't achieve this right now. The assist channel, you can speak to the liaison in front of the Mog House in Sandoria, Bastock, or Windhurst. This will give you 300 XP, so this is pretty good. These are the lists of locations that they are. So once I head back to the Mog House, I'll be able to do this one. Field of Valor training regime. I'll show you guys where to find these manuals. This is good XP as well. And completing manuals or pages for manuals gives you XP and another type of currency as well. So then just take a look through, see what looks like you might be able to accomplish it. So vanquish multiple enemies. Just put this one on, because this is you're gonna need to kill 200 enemies, but you'll need to work up to it over time. The daily objectives also tend to be pretty good. Buff allies. I actually don't have any buff spells or party members yet, but vanquish multiple enemies. I only need to get 30. So we're gonna turn that one on too. Now we're ready to go outside and beat up our first monster. Uh-oh. No, wait, don't yell at me. Okay, now we're outside for real. She just wanted to let me know she can help me with anything I need. All right, so we have Signet on. So we're going to want to look at the field manual. These tend to be right outside of the starting areas. Just look around for a book. You can also look at your map and go to wide scan, and it'll show you all of the monsters around you, as well as NPCs or things like field manuals. So if you're having a hard time finding an NPC on your map, you can use this and it should show you generally where it is. So let's talk to the field manual. And you're going to want to go for individual training. I'm just a level 1, so I'm going to pick page 1. And they want me to beat up 6 members of the Mandragora family, so bring it on! You can set it to automatically repeat so that you don't have to come back and restart it every time you complete an objective. So let's go find a Mandragora. Alright. There's a whole bunch of bumblebees, but there are also tiny Mandragoras over here. So this is where I was talking about the types of crystals. When you go into your Records of Eminence quests, and for combat spoils, there's going to be a list here of different crystals. So when you obtain 10 crystals as drops, this Records of Eminence quest will complete and give you XP. Different types of monsters drop different crystals, so you might want to look it up ahead of time, but generally speaking, like lizardy type of monsters will sometimes drop fire crystals. Mandragoras, flying enemies tend to drop wind crystals. Mandragoras drop earth crystals, so I'm going to turn that on so that as they drop crystals I'm getting credit. There's also geodes on here, and then if you go to spoils 2, this one's a little bit easier for you to figure out. This is spoils from specific types of monsters, so batwings obviously come from bats, tiger fangs come from tigers, rabbit hides come from rabbits. We, for Mandragoras, are going to want 3-leaf Mandragora bud. I think 4 leaves come from the slightly chonkier Mandragoras, but I'm just gonna put these on anyway, just in case. And that's it. Once I move up to beating up on bees, I'll enable beehive chips. And I think honey is in here as well. Honey. Yeah, so those will come from bees, but right now, because of my page that I selected from the field manual, I'm focused on Mandragoras. So let's beat them up. So you can see that your dagger skill and evasion skill are actually going up as you use it. You do have skill levels in Final Fantasy XI. You can check them by going to status and then combat skills. So I only have evasion 1 right now and I'm 0 everything else. But this actually determines when you get your weapon skills. You need to hit certain skill levels in order to unlock weapon skills to then use in combat. So you could see there that I completed, or I didn't complete, I completed Vanquish 1 enemy. So I got 500 experience points for that. I got 300 Sparks of Eminence, which I'll show you guys how to use. And then I got credit towards a couple of other objectives. The only reason that you don't want to turn on every single Records of Eminence quest is you do have a limit of 30 active at each time, so you just want to be careful to have on exactly what you're working on. So in round 1 of embarrassing myself, I started as a red mage, and therefore they gave me my first magic spell. You don't automatically learn spells in Final Fantasy XI. You have to use scrolls to learn specific spells. So red mage, the first spell will be Dia. It's white magic that lowers enemies' defense, so it'll actually help me kill these guys faster. So you have to use the spell, so go into your inventory and use it. You can buy spells from vendors, especially for a lot of the low-level spells, but as you get up there, some of them start turning into drops, but that's something you can worry about later. Alright, so this should be my last Mandragora to completing my page. I also just got my first weapon skill, so let's use that. Woohoo! Alright, so that, you've defeated a designated target, you've successfully completed the training regime. So I got 270 experience points, I got some tabs, which you can use on various buffs that you can get from the book, and a little bit of gil. So let's go back to the book and I'll show you what you can use tabs on. Alright, so back at the book, when you talk to it, go down to read about field support. This is where you're going to spend tabs. I only have 27 because I've only completed 1 page so far, but you can get re-raise. Re-raise is really helpful. It'll, if you die, It'll just let you raise back up exactly where you died. Region will give you health regen, refresh is MP refresh. So there's a lot of good buffs that you can get here for pretty cheap, especially if you're a low level. It'll give you some options for taking on slightly tougher monsters for a lot bigger XP. Also, if you happen to get away from where you started, you can return to your home nation with repatriation. All right, so one weird trick doctors don't want you to know. Once you hit level 4, your next level XP, which you can see over here, your XP bar, how much you currently have, how much you need to get to your next level, that goes up quite a bit. To 1250. If you want to get that jump really fast, go into objective list and then go to Vaniversary. And the 15th Vaniversary #1, just go to Signet BRB. A common phrase people used to say, and you just have to receive the effects of Signet from guards the requisite number of times, and the requisite number is 1. So take that, it'll net you 1115 XP. So we get Signet. You can still get it even if you have it already, it just refreshes it. And that completes that Records of Eminence quest. So now that we're level 5, we can do the Call Forth an Alter Ego Records of Eminence quest. So you gotta speak to NPCs in either Southern Sandoria, Port Bastock, Winders Woods. I'm in Winders, so mine is Witch Hacha. So I just talked to her, and she wants a quickie wick word, and she'll introduce you to the trust system. All right, so the NPC will tell you what to do. Mine, the one in Winders, tells you go to Heaven's Tower with your Green Institute card and talk to Kupipi. So Heaven's Tower is this way. It'll be different in each nation, but they should give you pretty good directions and tell you exactly who to talk to when you get there. All right, so I'm in Heaven's Tower and I found Kupipi. So talking to the NPC will give you a cutscene with a little bit of an explanation about the alter ego system. All right, once you talk to that NPC and you get the cutscene, they will give you a trust spell. So you're just gonna want to open your menu, go down to trust. The spell will be there. Go outside your city of choice and call forth your first trust, and this will complete the Call Forth an Alter Ego quest. For completing the Call Forth an Alter Ego quest, you'll get an additional... Oh, not there. You'll get an additional alter ego that you'll be able to summon. But in order to summon your new alter ego, you need to go back to the original alter ego NPC and trade them that cipher. So go back to your city's trust NPC, go into your quests again, objective list, tutorial, basics, and you're gonna see that you have a new alter ego quest for the new alter ego that you just received for completing the quest before this. So call forth an alter ego of and then you're gonna want to trade the cipher, the NPC. She'll give you the magic. I lied. Okay, so it turns out if that was your first trust magic, which for me it was, this is a new character, you have to go back to this NPC, the one that you were sent to, and this completes your quest. So make sure to do that first. As a few optional add-ons to that quest, they give you Winders Trust permit, so you can go around and talk to a couple of different NPCs in whatever your starting nation is, and you can unlock them as trust as well. So you can really build out your full party just from this. But we're going to focus on the ones that we get from Records of Eminence just for the sake of time. But something that you're definitely going to want to do if you're smarter than me is click on these every time you walk past a new one. These are home points. They're a place where you can return if you die outside. If you get defeated in battle, you'll return here. But in the current version of Final Fantasy XI, I'm a little old school, so I always forget this. You can actually use them to teleport. You can travel to any other home points that you've unlocked. So this will save you a lot of running around, just being able to teleport straight back and forth. All right, so now I was able to trade that new alter ego item to Waitata, and she is going to give me new trust magic. Anytime that you get a new cipher of an alter ego, bring it back to one of these NPCs, and they will teach you a new trust to add to your trust magic list. So now go back outside with your new trust. Make sure that you have your new Records of Eminence quest activated. So I do call forth the alter ego of that guy. And then go to trust and call forth that alter ego. And it will complete that Records of Eminence objective, and it'll give you a new alter ego. So what you're going to want to do is take that and trade it to the NPC. You're going to do this a couple of times. You're going to go back and forth, trading and summoning, and it's going to give you a full party of NPCs to be able to party with. All right, so early on, your maximum number of alter egos is only going to be 3 in your party. You can make a full party later, but this still allows you to really start punching above your weight. Or come back here. This really lets you start punching above your weight, enemy-wise. Fights also tend to go a little bit faster. So it can help you earn XP faster and level up faster. Alright, so I've hit level 7, which is a pretty good spot to start thinking about swapping into higher level gear. You get sparks every time you complete a Records of Eminence quest, so I have over 3,700 now. Generally, the lower level stuff tends to be pretty cheap. So you can really just upgrade your gear whenever you want using sparks. Sparks have really changed the game. So I'm looking for maybe a sword, since I'm a red mage. That will be more in line with my level. I think I went flying right past them. So level 1, level 7. What you also want to check are just the list of jobs. So this requires level 7. Red mage can use it, so that's good for me. And I will buy that for 50 sparks. So I'm just gonna go through and make sure that I'm fully upgraded to level 7 gear, and I should be able to afford everything pretty easy. You can also buy new trusts using sparks as well, and some of them are pretty good, so given that we still have, I just bought all of my equipment that I'm gonna need, and I still have almost 3,000 sparks. I'm just gonna go through and buy each one of these as well. All right, so I still have a ton of sparks, and I was able to buy a full set of level 7 gear. Let's just put all these on. Bought a new shield as well. Alright, so now I'm fully equipped for level 7. And I still have a ton of sparks left, so the next time that I hit a good level to up my gear, you just want to kind of look at like a gear list and see when there's significant movement, and that'll give you a good idea on when you should be upgrading. Just always, I would say almost across the board, unless it's something that comes from request, just come and buy your gear from the Sparks vendor. It's cheap, it'll keep you pretty much up to date. You're never going to be hurting for sparks. Especially as you unlock new records of eminence quests, they flow like wine, so do not worry about it. Another thing about using sparks to buy gear is that generally spark gear has a pretty good sparks to gil ratio. So if you're running low on gil and you want to buy, say, scrolls for magic from an NPC or something else from an NPC that you can't afford, go use your sparks, buy some gear, preferably higher level gear, and then sell that higher level gear to an NPC. You tend to get a really good return on investment for that. It's very few sparks for quite a bit of gil, so it's a really good way to build up your gil reserves if there's something that you want to buy that you can't afford. So that's it. Records of Eminence is your friend. Make sure to use it, go through it, find what you think you can do everything on the list that you can, use the Fields of Valor manuals outside the town, use your trust NPCs, and starting Final Fantasy XI is a pretty smooth sailing now. You can get a lot of levels and a lot of stuff really fast so that you can do more of the missions and more of the story and the expansions, and it's really good and you should play it, please. So I hope that you try it out, and I hope that you have a good time. So have a good rest of your night or your morning or your afternoon or whatever it is where you are. Oh, Tsubus!